Hello, my name is Dorothy Henning, and today I'd like to share a Feldenkrais Awareness Through Movement lesson with you that I call Gentle Crescent. This lesson involves the movements of side bending, and this is very helpful for liberating the rib cage, which improves our breathing, and also helps release the neck and shoulders. And side bending is involved in so many of our functions and activities. So let's begin the lesson in standing. So please stand. And take a moment in standing to feel the weight inside your body. It's as if gravity is sifting through you. We don't see gravity, but we feel the effects of it as weight. And so imagine it sifting through you and that you feel your weight landing finally in your feet. And how does your weight land in your feet? Is it near the front of your feet or the heels? How much is it the heels or toward the outside of your feet or the inside? And is there a difference between the left foot and the right foot? We observe these differences, but not with any judgment, just to know ourselves better and use this information for learning and sensing. And then notice your hands to your side. Where do they touch at your leg? Just notice, not judging. And let's do a little side bending movement and see what it's like at the beginning, and we can come back to it at the end. So imagine that you have like a fountain in your head. Just imagine we have fountain, water that shoots straight up like this, and you're going to tilt your head and your body a little bit to one side or the other. You decide which side, looking ahead at your horizon, your nose faces forward, and you just tilt, spraying the water like across the ceiling, and slide your hand down your leg and notice, where does it go? That's it. And then let's do the same thing to the other side. You may have chosen your easy side first. I don't know. We all have our easy side, spraying the fountain over to that direction across the ceiling and then back to the middle. And maybe do it again. Just notice, do you have a preferred side? Not judging, not going so far that it's uncomfortable or you feel off balance. Do you feel the ribs close on one side and open on the other? Breathing easily, and we'll come back to this at the end. So now, could I invite you to please lie down? Make sure that you have a comfortable mat to lie on. If it doesn't work for you to be on a mat or to get on the floor, then please, you could do this lesson in bed. And you may want something folded under your head, such as a towel or a blanket, if that would be more comfortable for you. But make sure you're comfortable. So I'll let you settle in. And now, as you're lying there, take a moment to scan inside, like with your inner eye, and notice, how does your weight and go down into the floor? Like, where do you have contact? There's some places that lift up and some places that settle in and go down. Bring your attention to behind your shoulders. How are the shoulder blades lying on the floor? Compare the left and compare the right. And then at your hips, notice the left and the right. How do your thighs touch? Your legs? Is there a difference between the left and the right? And notice the length of your two legs. Does one leg seem longer than the other? Observe the length of your two arms. And then gently roll your head a little to the left and right. Does it seem that one ear wants to go closer to the floor? Just seems, without forcing, you just roll that little amount that's very easy. And does one side seem easier? Does one side, the ear seems to go closer to the shoulder when it rolls? And then observe your breathing. And the easiest way to observe your breathing is to observe the movement in your body as you breathe, the movement in your chest. As you breathe in your mouth and feeling that space in your mouth, in the palate, and in your throat, how much space is available for the air to go in? And then as it goes into your chest, is there more room on the left side of your chest or the right side? What is space is available for the air to flow in there? Notice your breathing in your mid-abdomen, the movement there, and the movement in your lower abdomen. And now, may I invite you to bend your knees. So you bend your knees and you stand your feet on the floor. There we go. We are. Hello. As I said, you may want a little something under your head. Leave your glasses to the side if you haven't already. And now your knees are bent. And can you gently bring up one hand and then the other? Just if you have any shoulder issues that this isn't comfortable to do, then you can just bring your hand just near your head or just bring up one hand. But if you're comfortable, we're going to slowly bend at the elbows, kind of like puppet arms, getting the sleeves comfortable, bring the arms up, interlace the fingers and put them behind your head. And now you have your head in a little basket of your hands. And then can you have your elbows be up and then slowly let them open. Don't force them to where they want to go. If one can go further than the other, maybe it could be a good friend and not go as far. So they match. So if they're here, you leave them both here, but just to where they can open comfortably. And you may want to have less under your head. I'm going to move the pad under the head for this movement. And then can you just, we're going to do side bending again, but have your right elbow go towards your right hip. But you keep your nose facing forward and you're breathing gently, not forcing. Feel how the ribs fold on the right and they expand on the left. And then we'll do that to the other side, observing what is this like now? Breathing as you go, noticing, is one side easier? Is it similar or the same as the side that was easier in standing? And now you release your hands and rest a moment. And can you bring now your right hand up to your head, the top of your head, and it wraps around your head as if it wanted to get the other side of the ear, really over the top of the head. And leaving the nose facing forward, can you gently bring your head, not pulling on your neck, over to the right side? And don't worry about the distance you go. Breathing gently, not forcing. It's no matter the distance. Just an amount that's right for you today. And then next time you're to the right, can you stay there where it's really comfortable, not where it pulls or strains? And just breathe, not pulling hard on your head now, but resting your hand here and feeling where can you let go that you could be holding tension or contracting, letting it sink in the floor, parts of your back, and breathing. Feeling how the left ribs on this side may allow more breath because of the space available, and the right are a little folded. If you're comfortable, you could go a little bit further. And breathing. And then you come back to the center, bring down your arm, and you rest. And notice if after just these few movements, does it seem that one leg is longer than the other? Or do you notice any differences in your contact? Bend your knees again, slowly, one at a time, if that's comfortable. Bring your right hand, the same side, around the top of your head, to the left side of your head, and your left hand is going to be placed, I'll show you, on the side of your right hand, or if your hand isn't that far, it'll be on the side of your head. You don't strain, you go to where it's comfortable to have your hands. Your elbows are open the amount that's comfortable for them. Your knees are spread a little, feet are spread. And now, can you have your right hand bring your head to the right side, in side bending, but your left can push a little bit. So the right's pulling slightly and the left's pushing, but an amount that's very gentle. Allow the movement to also happen below your neck, in your chest, in your ribs. And you come back. You don't stay there right now. It's just a little journey of going and coming back. Nose is facing forward. And next time you go to the side, could you stay there and get comfortable there in a mount that's right for you? And elongate your left leg. And now, can you gently push through your right foot? Feel the ground, that you're using the pushing into the ground, and how that travels through your leg and it begins to lift a little bit your right hip. And it lifts and turns a little toward the left. The left is not lifting. And can you direct that force of that gentle push? Feel it cascade like dominoes through you and make a call up to your left ribs till you feel it helping expand your left ribs. And it may feel like your head may tend to want to go a little more to the right. Don't force it. Maybe just notice it does. Your hands aren't pushing. You're breathing. And then you slowly bring the right hip down, and you may feel the head tend to want to go a little bit back. And rest. And you can do that a couple of times, very slowly, enjoying the journey, pushing through the foot, feeling that travel through your leg, through your hips. The right is lifting. Ooh, let go at the lower back, thinking, where can you let go? Where it starts to contract or hold. Letting go of your belly. Your right hip joint on the front is opening, leg pointed to the ceiling. And then you slowly come back. And you bring the head back to the middle and the arms. Bring down the left arm. Bend the left knee. And just once, before we pause, let's see how it's going when you just bring the head to the right with the hand. Is there any improvement in that movement? Bring down the other arm, lower your legs, squiggle a little bit to get comfortable. After being in this configuration, things might find a new place, organize more easily. Breathing softly, letting yourself sink into the floor, and notice now, does one leg seem longer than the other? What about the contact on the floor in the left and right? Are there any other differences? And rest and recuperate. And now that we notice those differences between left and right, we'll do some movements on the other side. So slowly bend one knee at a time. And now you bring your left hand. If this is possible for you, again, you can alter it a little bit. If this isn't possible to bring your arm all the way up over the top of your head, one alternative is just to place the other hand and just push only slightly and come back. I'm just offering another alternative. But if you can, you bring your left hand up, Go over the top of your head. Reach your hand around to the ear, or maybe it's the temple, but it's wherever it can easily reach. And then you bring your head a little to the side, feeling, do you feel that movement at all in your pelvis, your hips? What happens in your ribs? Can you come back? Can you follow the shape of your back and how it changes? Your spine, making a crescent shape, a little now to the left. And next time you go to the left, have it be not too far, but you go to where it's comfortable, where you could stay, where you could hang out a little bit. Getting comfortable at your head, your hands not pulling, and rest there and breathe. Feel the breath now going more on the right ribs as they're more expanded. And after you rest there, breathing, feeling where you can soften, you may feel you could go a little bit further, but if that seems easy and possible, where can you let go in your back or your feet, your hips, your jaw? And then you come back to the middle. Bring down your arm and rest a moment with your knees bent, if that's okay for you. Feeling the contact of your shoulder blades on the floor. And then can you bring up the left arm, left hand again. Bring it around the top of your head. And now your right hand goes to the side of your head. And you can see it's either on your hand or on the side of your head, wherever that works for you. And now you have a little help of the right hand pushing while the left hand pulls slightly, allowing the chest to move and open, the ribs way up high, just under your armpits. They're moving. Do you feel the breath going in there? And next time you're to the side, can you stay there where it's comfortable and easy? And extend your right leg. And now with your left foot standing on the floor, you push through the left foot, the knee pointed toward the ceiling, and you lift the right hip. Sometimes you feel, oh, the right back wants to be involved. Oh, you let that right lower back go, the right hip. Let this movement, this wonderful force of pushing into the ground, travel through your leg and up to your right chest. Easy, easy. Think of it going to your chest, and that can help release your neck. Because where the chest and the ribs up on the right don't open, and the neck tries to make up for it. So let's just don't force the neck. Let it go to those ribs. And breathing, you come back down. You may notice the head tends to want to go a little more toward the middle. That's okay. And wait till you come all the way down. Just sink and sink. Let that hip sink. Sometimes it feels like it sinks lower than it went off the ground or was on the ground in the first place. You can do that again. Maybe doing this 2 or 3 times. And sometimes as you push, you feel the left hip joint open, letting go of the belly, letting go of the back, the right ribs, the neck resting, the jaw. Breathing and softening, letting your breath soften inside in areas that maybe aren't used to moving. You slowly come back and bring the head back. Bring down the right hand. Bend both knees. And just once, for the pause, can you bring the head to the side like we were doing? And is there any improvement in that movement of side bending to the left? And then bring down both arms. Extend both legs. Have a nice pause. Again, things could have found their place. And so you squiggle a little. You don't have to know where it's supposed to go and try to get there. You know, if you just move around, it finds its place. Kind of like beans in a jar. If you've ever had beans and you move the jar around or shake it, and then suddenly the beans kind of land differently, or there's more space than there was. You can add more beans. Just like in us, things are settling, finding their place. Is there a difference in your breathing? How the chest responds to the breath? The ribs on the right and on the left. Roll your head gently. Is there any more ease in that movement? Then can you come to bend both your legs again? Before we finish, let's go back to this movement we did near the beginning when we were lying down. First, we're lying down with the hands behind the head and the elbows open to where they can gently be open. And you bring the elbow down toward the right hip. How's this going now? Is there any improvement to one side and the other? Have fun with it, doing an amount that doesn't hurt. There's not a outside criteria of an amount that's needed to be done. It's just what feels right for you today. And it's that amount that's going to help you learn and leave your brain free to learn, because you'll be in safety. You won't be having to protect yourself. You know you're not going to push too hard. So inside you're willing to let go. So now we tried that. Let's leave that movement and rest. Add something under your head again if you like. Take a moment just to feel your contact right and left. If there's any more freedom for your breath to go in your chest. And imagine it also breathing in your lower belly. And just to the other side of your lower belly are your legs. And there's openings at your legs to go in and have space. Feel the space in your mouth. Notice your cheeks and your eyes. Space available for the air to go in through your throat, into your chest, and your upper abdomen, your lower abdomen, to the whole trunk feels involved in the breathing. Your whole self. And now can you leave all this for a moment and let's come to standing and see what this lesson offers us in standing. Hello? So take a moment to feel your feet on the ground again, letting the weight sift through you on the ground. There we go. How about where the ceiling is? Does that seem any closer than it did? And with your arms to the side, and imagine that fountain we have spraying, can you slide your hand down to the side and see how that goes down, if there's any improvement? Hope this lesson was interesting to you today. If you want to know about more good things like that, like this, please come visit integrativemovement.us. There you can find other good things, the My Move membership that includes lots of other good things to do, information, resources. So just check out integrativemovement.us. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks.